Ready when you are, Randy. Here we go. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees special meeting to order this Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Cheryl, could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Ash. Trustee Criswell.
Here.
Trustee Gilstrap.
Here.
Trustee Hoskins Sutton.
Here.
Chair Isnard.
Here.
Vice Chair Ricketts.
Here.
Trustee Scruggs Andreu.
Here.
Thank you. For our agenda for the special meeting, we call for a motion for an executive session to discuss data relating to financial affairs or trade secrets of corporations, partnerships, trusts, and individual proprietorships with possible action to follow in open session for a 10-minute duration. Open session will take place in the Upper Jewel Lounge and in the virtual meeting room.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Members will be allowed time to travel to the special meeting room. right, we are back live. This time I call for a motion to return to open session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have one action item after the executive session. At this time, I'd call for a motion to approve the naming rights of the KCKCC Fieldhouse Court floor to the Breidenthal Court. I would like to personally thank the Breidenthal family and foundation for such a generous gift. At this time, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Thank you. And we are ready for a motion to adjourn the special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Good evening. I have 5 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees to order this Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Criswell.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now read the KCKCC mission statement, which is to inspire individuals and enrich our community one student at a time. Cheryl, could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Ash.
Here.
Trustee Criswell.
Here.
Trustee Gilstrap.
Here.
Trustee Hoskins Sutton.
Here.
Chair Isnard.
Here.
Vice Chair Ricketts.
Here.
Trustee Scruggs Andrew.
Here.
Thank you. I now call for a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda, I would invite the presentation of the music program Downbeat award-winning musicians and faculty presented by Mr. John Stafford, Professor of Music and Music Coordinator.
Good evening, Board. How are you?
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
My name is John Stafford, I'm Professor of Music and Music Coordinator here at KCKCC, my 15th year. I just wanted to, let me put the mic over here. I just wanted to introduce you to some of the students that have won Downbeat Magazine Student Music Awards. Just a little overview on the screen here. Downbeat Magazine, it's based out of Chicago since 1934. Downbeat Magazine has the widest circulation of any jazz magazine in the United States and has been recognizing student achievement at the middle school, high school, and collegiate levels with the Student Music Awards since 1978. Just a little information, the Downbeat Student Music Awards is nationally considered the highest level awards for student jazz musicians, which is really important to us since our music program is mostly a jazz and commercial music-based program. Little brief history, KCKCC with Downbeat Magazine. Just a few points here, and these points were created by my colleague who couldn't be here today, Dr. Justin Binnick. So I'm just sharing his points here. In 2025, KCKCC earned most student music awards of any community college in the country with 7 awards. All of the other community colleges that have won awards this past year were usually 4 or less. Also, KCKCC earned its first SMAs in 2017, so this is the 9th year in a row that we have won these awards. Since then, our students and faculty have received double the number of student music awards as any other community college in the country. Nationally, KCKCC earned the 7th most student music awards of any school represented in the 2025 Student Music Awards. This includes graduate music programs as well. Over the last 4 years, from 2022 to 2025, KCKCC ranked 2nd in the country in student music awards, in which we received 49 awards in the 4-year span, behind only the University of Miami Frost School of Music. And within the 9-year span, over 2017 to 2025 period, KCKCC ranks 4th with a total of 67 awards, behind only the University of Miami, Caleb Chapman Soundhouse, which is a charter program based out of California, and lastly, the University of Northern Colorado. And behind me here are 3 of the students that have won awards this past year. The first one here is Heidi Eberhardt. Heidi's from Kearney High School. She will graduate 2 days from now with her AA in music. Attending KU, a very large scholarship to KU to be a jazz studies vocal major. And this year she won the original small group jazz composition category. So it's a original composition that she wrote, which she won for. She also received Downbeat Awards in the past as a member of my group, the Standard Vocal Jazz Ensemble, and Dr. Bennick's Blue Devil Funk Band. Next, we have behind me Jalen Ward, who graduated last year with the AAS in audio engineering. Jalen now works as a professional jazz drummer and audio engineer in Kansas City, doing various projects, performing all over the place and doing various audio productions. And he won this past year for his performance last spring when he was a student with the Jalen Ward Trio, so with drums, bass, saxophone. And he was the winner, his group was the winner of the small jazz ensemble category at the community college level. He also won an audio engineering award last year with Downbeat. He won a studio category, and he's also won for various other performances in the past when he was a student here at KCKCC.
1 minute.
And lastly, we have Felicia Chance over here, who graduated last year also with an audio engineering AAS degree. She works as a professional audio engineer at Music Theater Heritage and also does various audio projects in town, especially with theater productions. And lastly, she won 2 awards this year. They have 2 categories. They have a live audio engineering category and they have a studio engineering category, which she won awards in both. So I just wanted to recognize these students in particular, and I just wanted to thank the college and the board especially for your support for these students' hard work. It's a lot of work to get to this level, and it's greatly appreciated, the support. So thank you so much.
And thank you and the professors, because it takes that kind of leadership to get students to this point. So thank you. Students, congratulations, and thank you to our faculty.
All right, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you
you.
and congratulations.
Well, thank you so much for the attention, the positive attention you're bringing to Kansas City, Kansas
Yes.
Community College.
Sure.
And nationally, maybe internationally, but certainly nationally. And, you know, if we were going to buy that kind of thing, it would be a lot more expensive than what we're currently supporting you at. So we thank you for the bargain also.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So.
All right, thank you again. Next on our agenda this evening is the audience to patrons and petitioners. At this time, I'd invite the public to raise their hands in the chat or approach the podium for the opportunity to address the board. Addressees must state their name and address for the record before making their comment or question. There is a 3-minute time limit. Do we have any in the chat?
There's no one in the chat?
We were checking the online chat first. Now, if any who are here in attendance would like to speak, if you would approach the podium and form a line, we'll go one by one, and you'll have a 3-minute time limit each.
Ready, set, go. 3 minutes.
Go right ahead. Good evening.
My name's Mary Ann Slattery. I live at 7709 Corona Avenue, Kansas City, Kansas. I've been retired from the district attorney's office since 2002. Immediately after retiring, I started coming to the Wellness Center on a very regular basis. We used to love it when they were open 6 days, but now we're down to 5 days a week, and we're still loving it. It's a very wonderful experience, and I think what closing it does is partly cut out one of the words on your banners, community, because you have a lot of people who go to the community center on the campus who, you know, finished college a long time ago. Some of us are needing assistance, and they have wonderful staff there. I have a personal trainer, and I meet with her once a week, and she takes into consideration everything about me. Oh, my back's bothering me today. Okay, well, then we won't do this. Well, what about that? Well, yeah, we'll try that and see how you like it, see if you can do it. They are the personal trainers, or all of them, but I happen to use a personal trainer once a week, are sensitive to the individual's needs. It's not their game, it's my game. And you just can't beat that. It'd be like paying to go to the physical therapist or something. They're just all very concerned and interested in why you are there, how can they help you, and you can ask them questions, you can say, oh, today I can't do that, but they have in mind what my ailments are. They know I can't lift my my arms above my shoulders. They know that I can't do anything with my knees that's had 6 surgeries. So the woman I have is very attentive to me. The other wonderful thing about it is, your banner says Kansas City
1 minute.
Community, thank you. One says
What?
community college. A lot of us are just from the community, and that's the class we're taking or how we've signed up. I couldn't get along, and I don't know how I will get along without that service being provided. However, the people that staff it have done a wonderful job. I know you all have a big job, but boy, there's just
Go
a
ahead.
lot of
No, it's Pam.
old people in the community, or a lot of them are younger than I am, but that we needed that. We need it close by, and we're
The
grateful
final
to have it.
projects, final paper. Okay.
Thank you.
Susan, can we have you please mute?
Good evening. I'm Linda Graham. I live at 4605 North 123rd Terrace. I have been at the Wellness Center for 20 years, first to relieve stress from teaching. I wonder if I could ask any of you that have seen Pam or Deborah with a client, working with a client. Have you observed them? You're not raising your hand, so I don't know whether that means you haven't.
Yes.
If you would, I think you would see a lot of benefit that you don't know about. For instance, I'm in a yoga class, and there's a special needs student there, and Pam gives this child, adult student, dignity. She encourages him. That can't be done through a television screen. My trainer this week, I was lifting weights, and I wasn't doing it right, even though I've done it with her before. She said, no, you need to change your position. That's not going to be done with a television screen. When you come to the Wellness Center, they have cards for people that are sick. You see friends meeting there. If someone passes away, there are cards, there are things. It's a community of people that care about each other. Putting in a television and thinking that that's going to make a difference, it just doesn't make sense. It's kind of embarrassing to think that you don't know more about what your patrons, your teachers do. Finally, I think I would say it's humiliating, I think, and short-minded of you to have one of the people that could retire in less than 2 years not be able to retire. Now she's looking for a job. The other one could retire, but she wanted to work a couple more years. These are people that have been loyal to your program. They have gone beyond so many times with so many extra things, and I just think it's criminal that you are doing
1
this
minute.
to them.
Good evening. I'm Martha Budke. I live at 11110 Delaware Parkway in Kansas City, Kansas. And I've been at the Wellness Center for probably a little over 10 years. And it's just done wonders for me. It's just been great. And I've always thought of it as kind of a little hidden gem in the community college because people don't know that much about it. And ironically, my fear has always been that our instructors, they're so talented, they're so capable, that they would go out and find better jobs and leave us. let me give you one example of something they've done for me. I, last November, had a vestibular problem, and I was on my way to class, and I just fell. And, of course, they rushed to me with water, and Pam took my blood pressure and called the campus nurse. And even though she was finished with work for the day and on her way home, she took me to St. Luke's urgent care and stayed with me the entire time while they were doing the testing. And then she brought me back to the wellness center, and she and Deb, one of them drove my car with me in it, and the other one followed in her car, and they took me home. And again, that's something that we're not going to get anywhere else, that a TV screen is not going to do for us. And they interact with everyone, not just the people in their classes. Deb brings us fresh fruit and vegetables from her garden, and she'll talk to people about the Chiefs and the Royals, and Pam gives us positive reinforcement and challenges us, and she'll talk to you about your dog, and if you're one of those unfortunate people that doesn't have a dog, she'll talk about your family. So I think if you ask either one of them, they could tell you something about every single person at that wellness center. And as has been mentioned, many of us are older people. Several people in their 90s come to the wellness center, and we have the one autistic young man, but we all want to be part of the community, and that's how we feel when we're there. So it's just, you know, it's very heartbreaking to have these ladies, even though they're losing their jobs, they're still cheering us on and giving us positive reinforcement. Now, my insurance company will pay for me to go to the Y, and that may be where I'll end up. And my apartment complex has a yoga room with a big screen TV, and I can go push a button and get a yoga class, but that's not what I want. I want these live women in front of me telling me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and giving me reinforcement.
Time limit, thank you.
I know that not reinforcing their contracts is going to save a little money, but I just think that sometimes doing something that will save money is not doing the best thing or the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Respectfully, you're at time.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Hoyt, and I joined the Wellness Center in 2011, so I've been going there 14 years. I joined the Wellness Center because I was so impressed by the instructors and the classes. They made you feel welcome, and everybody at that center is so friendly. We are like a family. And when it closed because of the pandemic, it was tough. But we still had a couple of videos, but we still had the instructors there to guide us through the videos. Then they opened up. Well, I went on Zoom because I had to have eye surgery, so my eyesight's not real good for driving, so I do Zoom. When you go to virtual or fitness on demand, we're not going to have that. And I've worked out all my life, and I probably could do YouTube, and it would be free, but I would miss the personal contact that I get from doing my classes and seeing all my classmates. And I, again, think it's a shame that money and politics have to take over and we lose our instructors. That's not right. One of these days, maybe you're still there. Do you go and work out? Would you like it if this happened to you? Think about it. It's a personal thing. We are a family. And like one other lady said, it is a community, and it's not going to be a community through virtual and fitness on demand. Also, the person that they were talking about, the autistic young man, he is awesome. His name is James, and guess what? He was the MATCON for the 5K run this year, and he did an awesome job. And he is so loved, and he is so enthusiastic for class, and he always comes in front of the camera and goes, and I go, hi, James, hi. And he has this big old smile. What's going to happen? You know, he has an individual attention. We all do, but especially for somebody like that. That is awesome. And you couldn't ask for any better instructors than Pam or Deb. They are wonderful, and they are very personable. They care about us, like they said before. And I hope you reconsider what your decision's going to be, because it's affecting all of us, and we're here to support them. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dale Graham. I live at 4605 North 123rd Terrace. I used to be a math instructor here and the basketball coach. I was here for 4 years. After I left here, I coached one other place, and then I became principal of Piper High School. One of the things I watched when I was a teacher here, and one of the things I really watched when I was a principal, how do teachers and how do the people who work here treat the kids and treat their patrons? I think it says a lot about your organization when you have people who treat their people like Pam and Deb do. They're incredible individuals. I was in a math department that Gerald Ulrich, who was one of my teachers when I was in school, Brian Emberton, who was my cooperating teacher when I student taught, Kay Weiss, Brooks Spees, Margaret Hathaway, wonderful people. And I would see them working with students all the time in their offices, up in their classrooms. I taught classes that aren't even offered at the major universities in this state. It's beneath them to teach those. A lot of people going back to school after being out for a long time, scared to death, would walk through my classroom door and be very intimidated by taking a math class after 20-some years. And I tried very hard to calm their fears and to help them. And we had a whole department like that. But I've never seen anybody quite like Pam and Deb in the way they treat people. Yeah, we're all older that are here tonight, and you're not going to get a lot of young kids that come in for something like this, but they treat the young kids the same way. I see them all the time going over and talking to somebody that's maybe not doing an exercise quite right, and they'll explain to them how they should be doing it, asking them what they're trying to accomplish, and they'll work hard with them to explain what's going on. I just want to say this. I was reading the mission statement, which I think is very important for every organization, to inspire individuals and enrich our community one student at a time. Pam Hall and Deb Likens epitomize that mission statement. You should be very proud of them. They do a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Okay. Dr. Mosier, did we have any? No, okay. All right, next on our agenda this evening, we have the recognitions and presentations portion. At this time, I'd invite the Educational Innovation and Global Programming Annual Update presentation by Dr. Ryobe, Vice President of Educational Innovation and Global Programming.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Great. I have to say thank you to Randy and team, Dina, Ava, Pat Kelly, for this video that I'm about to start with as we kick off the annual report for educational innovation and global programming. Randy?
At Kansas City, Kansas Community College, the Educational Innovation and Global Programming Division transforms lives by reimagining how students learn, grow, and succeed. Our division reflects the world we serve: first-generation students, multilingual families, returning adults, high school learners, and global dreamers. From classrooms to careers, we center success. Whether through micro-credentials, industry partnerships, or innovation scholarships, our students thrive.
Rich Piper at KCKCC Tech, and I'm here with Tom Pollard, who is currently working for Amstead Rail. And Tom, what do you do for Amstead Rail right now?
I am a maintenance mechanic.
All right, so my question to you, how will you do, after you finish the IMT program, what's the benefit to you?
After I pass this course, it'll be between an $8.70 raise and $12 raise, depending on how I test it.
We've redefined quality education through access and innovation. From new workforce programs to cutting-edge learning environments, our commitment to quality is unwavering. Our people make the difference. Through authentic leadership, inclusive hiring, and a shared mission, we empower innovation from the inside out. Our impact extends far beyond our campus, reaching into communities, companies, and countries. When we engage together, we rise together. As we move forward, our vision is bold: to expand access, deepen impact, and shape a global future together.
Awesome. So as we think about some highlights throughout this year, I just want to call special attention not only to enrollment, but our strategic priorities with student success, employee engagement, quality programs and services, and community engagement. So the Educational Innovation and Global Program team is not only inclusive of high school partnerships and international scholar services, online education services, workforce innovation, and now the new Cultural and Enrichment Center. Through these 7 departments, we have now serviced over 6,000 students in this year alone. Our high school partnerships have up to date over close to 500 students, 485 students who have graduated and are transitioning to either other 4-year institutions. And our international student enrollment has persisted and grown over 74%. We are really excited about the fact that we have over 60 apprentices across companies. Susan, please show the slides. 60 apprentices across different partnership companies, and we are just pushing towards not only more student success, but through our quality programs. This year alone, we have launched new micro-credentials, one focused not only in finance, but a new credential that is with IT professionals that's linked to Cisco training. We are pushing the agenda for having apprentices across different industries and not only partnering with the Career and Technical Education program within KCKCC, but other units too, such as healthcare and different professional services. So we are really excited about the trajectory that we're going. Our future is looking extremely bright. We have added great new additions to our team, Ms. Breanne Dawson, Mrs. Summer Jackson, and of course, Ms. Sarah Weber, who is leading our Entrepreneurship Education Initiative, which is part of 2 different collective impact planning grants that we've secured from Kauffman. And we've had our first Educational Innovation and Global Programming baby delivered last April by Ms. Nakari Harris. And so we just have a lot of momentum, a lot of new programs, new people joining the team, and we're ready to keep rocking and rolling. And that is my report. Thank you.
Did you get a bobblehead?
Thank you to President Mosier. I did get a bobblehead from our last institution support with the Monarchs. We had a baseball team opening night and they gave out bobbleheads. Thank you, Dr. Mosier. I got a bobblehead.
I knew you'd do it.
Yes.
Well, thank you for that report. Great things happening, it sounds like, as always.
Awesome.
So
absolutely.
Appreciate it. Any comments or questions from the board?
Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All All right, next on our agenda, we have no communications scheduled, so we will move into the board committee reports. At this time, I'd invite the board finance committee to report. Trustee Criswell.
Thank you, Chair Snart. The Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board Finance Committee met on Tuesday, May 13th. The following are the highlights. Of course, we reviewed the April financial summary and the financial board reports. We also had some discussion and are making the recommendation that we retain Novak and Burks PC as the outside auditor for the college and for the foundation as well for the fiscal year 2025 through 2026. A couple of other things, and we usually do talk about not only just the standard board reports, but we also spend some time discussing what are we doing above and beyond financially in order to better manage the finances that we have, or to continue to maintain good management of those finances. And just, I'll point out things from time to time, but just want to keep reiterating some examples just so folks have a real understanding of how we manage finances and why it's different and why it's better at KCKCC. You can look at how other colleges manage their finances. It's all public information, so feel free at any time to do so. But I wanted to focus on KCKCC's triumph in the area of financial management. I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but when we built both Centennial Hall and as we're building the downtown Kansas City, Kansas Community College campus, these two fabulous locations and really just landmarks in KCKC, not KCKCC, but in the county, those were paid for not using bonds. Those were paid for using capital campaigns and cash. And if you look around at who's building what, particularly community colleges, even just in the region, that's pretty uncommon. It's something very, very special. What it means is we didn't go and get taxpayer money, just to be, in plain speak. We didn't use taxpayer money in order to build these campuses, or this campus, and then also Centennial Hall. I think it's important to point that out because I know this is the time of year right now where folks are very concerned about their own finances, and they're also concerned about their taxes and who receives what as far as the taxing entities are concerned. So if nothing else, just wanted to assure the citizens that we have two huge wins in the area of finances in Centennial Hall and in the upcoming downtown campus, just from a financial management, from a financial strategy implementation perspective. So that's just one example. Then the other example is that we continue to manage, of course, the finances that we have very, very effectively. Another example of that is how we are using the CDs as investments. We're not just sitting there saying, oh, let's gather some taxpayer money and sit on it and not do anything. But we're saying, okay, we appreciate the taxpayer money that we are receiving. And in addition to that, we are investing it to make sure that we lessen the burden, not only on the taxpayers, but also on our students, because everyone is important to us and we have to do our part in managing those dollars well. So if nothing else, just wanted to point out more examples of that. I don't want to steal any of Dr. Schulte's thunder, but just, if nothing else, wanted folks to know that we always have these conversations during the Finance Committee. We talk a lot about this stuff during the board meetings, and we are very, very serious about continuing to effectively manage the finances of the college. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Trustee Criswell. If there are no questions or comments from the board, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the Board Policy Committee with Trustee Hoskins Sutton.
I will be speaking later when we approve some policies, and hopefully you had time to look over those before we vote later on that. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept that report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the Board Community Engagement Committee, Vice Chair Ricketts.
Oh, we had an opportunity to meet throughout the month One of the big things that we are working on for the Community Engagement Committee is making sure that we get the voices of the community members and continue to also share our facts and data information with them so that they can help disseminate relevant information throughout the community. A couple of things that we are still working on, which is to diversify the committee a little bit more, including age, because many of us are a little seasoned on the committee. So we are working with Erica Andrade from El Centro, as she has already shared that she has a few staff members that are recent graduates of KCKCC that would love to share their stories, as well as several others that we've been able to reach out to so that we can diversify the team a little bit. But one of the big things that Chris has been sharing with us as well is making sure that we have information to share with them and looking at how could we do it in bite-sized pieces. So that we don't overwhelm them. Trustee Ash has absolutely been phenomenal on being on the committee and making sure that we keep in mind. See, I was trying to help you out today. Keep in mind some of the really sensitive, important conversations that still need to happen so that we can just make sure everyone is well informed. More to come.
Thank you.
I would, excuse me.
Go ahead, Don.
I would like to add, this is hot, new information that Mary doesn't even know yet. So I want to inform the chair and the board as well that I've located a prospective member for our community advisory group. She is a young lady that is community engagement director at the Salvation Army, Citadel campus, right down next to our tech center. And I was very excited to learn that they are partnering with the college, in a couple of things. They refer a few people to the tech, that are looking for job-related, training and certification and whatnot, but they're also have been assisting the students in Centennial Hall. So as a lot of students are moving out, they don't necessarily need to or want to take everything back home wherever they're going. So they've worked with them to donate those items, and a lot of them are food items, to the Salvation Army. And so she was excited about it, said the students have been participating very well in that program. And so I think she'd be a good addition to our citizen advisory portion of our committee, because she's pretty well engaged throughout the community, like we are and like we want to be, and so she's got information. So I will send you her information, Mary, and
That'd be
then you
awesome.
can reach out to her.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Don.
Great.
Yep.
All right, and I just want to say thank you so much for your work on that committee. I've been fortunate to be able to attend a couple of the events, including the in-person one that was recent here on campus, and it's great to see that we're building a collaborative group, voices of all types, that can help get our message out, but also we're getting that feedback that we need to continue to improve. And I'll say that I just appreciate the way that it's facilitated as well. It's not about Mary or about any of us as trustees. It's about sitting at the table together and talking about the issue of the day, or getting the feedback. What are people hearing at the grocery store, so that we can do something about it. So,
You brought up a good point. I'm gonna throw Chris under the bus over there. She'll be up later. She could defend herself. But it was so funny. We were having our last conversation, and I'm like, she's like, well, what do they want to know? I was like, what did they say? She's like, nobody complained about anything. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, we have to talk about that, because there's always room for improvement. And not that we're looking for, a list of complaints, but we want to make sure that our ears are open so we can always think about, what can we improve on? What can we improve on so that we can make it better for all of our community members? So it's coming.
all right. If there are no other questions or comments from the board, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now for our ACCT and KACC delegate report. Trustee Ash.
Yeah, thank you. I don't really have anything to report from ACCT at this point. Obviously, they're busy in Washington trying to keep up with everything that, you know, is coming down the pipe from the current administration, and then you know, figuring out what their next move is, how they can best advocate for us, I think. But and at the state, I think the legislature is, you know, wrapping up, and we've been busy. KACC has been busy. Executive Director Morgan and a good number of the presidents. Dr. Mosier's been very engaged and involved as one of the presidents. You know, advocating with trying to keep us from losing any additional funding. I think Dr. Mosier reported last month, like we know we're getting a cut $700,000 or something to that effect. We know about that. We're trying to head off any others, and they have talked about some others. So I have been out of pocket the last few Fridays, so I haven't been engaged with the Friday President's Call, but I know a number of the presidents have been going to Topeka a lot, and some of the members of the executive committee, trustees from the executive committee, have been going to Topeka a lot and attending hearings, maybe testifying in some of the committees, and so on and so forth. So, Dr. Mosier, if you have anything you know that's new that you could share in my absence, why
Sure.
I welcome you to do that.
No, Trustee Ash, I think you covered it very well on the state funding cut potentials. Only thing I'd probably add is we have the quarterly meeting coming up in Atchison next Friday. For the President's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll be joined by our CFOs as well to discuss in greater detail what the impact of some of these state level budget cuts are, and then also looking at the federal level as well. So there'll be several of us attending.
So again, I'm planning to attend that. I mean, if any trustees want to attend it, but I'm telling you that I'm going to drive up and I'm going to commute back home on Friday night and then go back early, you know, Saturday morning. So it's just a little over an hour from where I live, and I prefer to sleep in my own bed as much as I can. So anybody that wants to shuttle, if you're interested in going and you don't want to stay the night up there, well, you're welcome to ride along. Just coordinate, let Cheryl know, so we can coordinate. And that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Don. Questions or comments?
No, Trustee Ash, something I was reading on the other day, and I don't know if in these sessions you all get an opportunity to share, but I'd be real curious if we're starting to hear any comments from the other colleges on what they're doing as far as like more private industry partnerships, kind of like what we're doing with Panasonic and Orange EV and so forth, if we're starting to hear more information on how they're connecting with the businesses in the community.
Yeah, I've not been in any communication loop about that, although some of the presidents may have certainly talked with Dr. Mosier, and I don't know whether he can share any of that, if any of it's even shareable right now, or if they're still trying to put something together.
Yeah, I would say we're ahead of the curve on that. The colleges are looking at the types of partnerships that we have with Panasonic and others, and on a corporate and a consortium sponsorship model with a OEM such as Panasonic or Toyota or whatever the manufacturer may be, or the consortium model. And the consortium model is like FAME, Federation of Advanced Manufacturing Education, where the individual companies don't have the financial well-being to support an entire program. So you go in together as a consortium. So not to sound self-serving, but we are leading the way in public-private partnerships in Kansas community colleges.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I will just toss in there, I think it's about time we presented at ACCT Congress. I think it's about time we, presented a workshop at the annual Congress there. And I know Dr. Mosier's been like super duper busy, but I think it would not be real difficult for he and a couple staff people to get that together and us send a proposal to them that we host a workshop there. I think there would be a lot of interest in that at the National Congress.
I do agree with that. I've been asking for a little while if there was something that we could share there, but I think we're doing so much great work here and getting lots of great national recognition. We can definitely share it with those peer groups there as well.
Yeah. Definitely put something together. We're at that point now. I believe it would be a very good presentation.
So we have to have, staff and trustees as part of the presentation. That's one of their requirements. And but I don't, I don't think that will be really difficult to do at all. I think probably most of us on this board are well enough informed that you could kind of sit on a panel with, for example, Dr. Mosier or Dr. Baylog or whomever they would, designate to do it, Dr. Ray Obie or whoever, and we could, we could function there.
Dr. Baylog just sent me a text. The deadline for submissions is Friday.
That's right.
So thank you, Dr. Baylog.
Might not make this one, but maybe the next.
Just so everybody knows, this isn't the first time I've mentioned it. So, I'm not blindsiding Dr. Mosier because I've sent an email or two to say, hey, I think we ought to consider, get the proposal.
So are you feeling like we need to make a motion that the paperwork gets turned in by the deadline that Dr. Baylog just shared?
We will get on it.
Okay.
You mentioned it several times. I'm glad you mentioned it now instead of like it was last Friday. The deadline was last Friday, so we can get something submitted.
This was my last chance before Friday, really.
So very good timing.
So I took it. Yeah, that's all I have.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda is to approve our consent agenda. This time I'd invite any questions or comments or call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving into the reports section of our agenda, we next have the Student Senate report with Mr. Joseph Sanchez, Student Senate President. He will be joining us virtually.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
We can. Good evening.
Good evening. So on May 7th, we had our end of the year bash. It was named the Blue Devil Games. It went very well. We had 217 people either watch, participated, or help. And we had finals breakfast that also went very well, served by Chris Cakes. We served over 200 students. And that's all I have to report.
All right, thank you.
You ready for graduation, Joseph?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Right, can't wait to see you out there.
Well, congratulations and best wishes. Do you know where you're going to transfer, or are you going into the workforce?
I'm actually gonna be coming back for another degree in the fall.
Okay, that's okay too. We welcome you back and hope you will stay involved.
I will for sure.
Good.
Yeah, and great job this year, Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Move approval of his report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the President's report with Dr. Mosier.
Thank you, Chair Isnard. Before I start my regular report, for those just joining in the 5 o'clock meeting, I want to recognize the Bridenthal family. At the 4:30 meeting, the board approved naming rights due to a very significant gift from the Bridenthal Family Foundation. The Bridenthals have been a great partner with KCKCC and the community for many, many years. So the Field House Court will be named the Bridenthal Court. We will have a reveal of the floor at a later time, but just want to publicly thank the Bridenthals for their generous gift. So very good. Randy, if you could go ahead and share my screen, please. Thank you. Hopefully you can see that all right. Tried to make it maximize the window size. You know, as we talk about getting ready for commencement and our partnerships and everything, I'll zoom in a little bit here. Let's see. I was talking with individuals about, well, how many students do we have graduating in the areas? And we were very familiar with what's going on with Panasonic and such, and that initiated this development of this document, and it'll continue to grow. These are the number of students that we have graduating in each one of the programmatic areas, the average starting salary for those individuals, and then the gross income that will be generated by these individuals just graduating this spring semester. So for the SMT with Panasonic, we have 56 students graduating from that 8-week certificate program. So this semester we will generate $3 million of income to our communities just with this one with this one group. Like I say, we'll continue to build this out. So just with the handful of programs that you see in front of you, and thank you to Dr. Bohm for information from the health professions is always easy to collect in a rapid time because she is on it so much. So just these areas is $30 million. So when we talk about economic impact for our community, this is a prime example right here. So in the next couple weeks, I'll be working with Vice President Pope and others and continue to build this out so we can share this with our community, and something we should be very proud of ourselves and thankful for our faculty and staff who work and teach in those areas, because we are changing the community. If we were not here, this income would not be generated, and this is just from a portion of one semester. So, all right, Randy, thank you. So moving on with my report, these are very busy times, of course, lots of events taking place. Recently we had the Hall of Fame on April 25th and the Employee Recognition Ceremony on May 16th, so thank you everyone for working on that. The recognition ceremony, we had 95 Blue Devils that received service awards totaling 1,175 years. So tremendous effort. So thank you so much. Tomorrow is the nursing pinning ceremony at 7 o'clock in the Performing Arts Center. And of course, Thursday, it is actually our 100th commencement ceremony, because a year later of when we started, we'll have a graduating class, and it's going to be tremendous out at Sporting KC. I'll let Dr. Cordy expand on that, but for our 100th commencement ceremony, we should have about 600 students walking and over 6,000 guests. So I believe that is probably the largest class that ever walked in one ceremony for the college, because they've been split into two. There may be something I'm not aware of, but just super excited about those numbers. And the weather's going to be perfect, sunny and 67 degrees. So we couldn't ask for more there. As Trustee Ash mentioned, we talked about the KCKCC quarterly meeting coming up at Highland Community College in Atchison. We're also working on preparing the budget proposals that we discussed, the board requested. We'll have that information in June. And kind of on the continuing the conversation that we're having with the state budget situation. At the federal level, we have tremendous cuts that are proposed in the House reconciliation bill that is moving forward significantly to the Pell. Previous conversations around the Pell Grant have been to expand the Pell. There are recommended cuts to that, changing the full-time credit hour enrollment from 12 credit hours to 15 credit hours. That's great for the universities, but for the community colleges, 12 is a more reasonable number for our students. Moving that to 15, also looking, the proposal is anyone taking less than 7.5 credits per semester is not Pell eligible anymore. So for the board and everyone's knowledge, this last year, students that would fall into that category is a $1.7 million that we distributed to students taking less than 7.5 credit hours. On top of that, there's a proposal to eliminate the federal work-study program. So that was about $110,000 last year that we distributed. But if you look at the multiplying factors of these, this is where it becomes very important. If they can't get Pell, if our students can't get Pell, that means they need to work extra to have the money to go to school. But now they also can't work at the college because federal work-study program is gone. So now they have to work off campus, and because they're working off campus, that increases their transportation time, which means they can take fewer courses. So the multiplying effect of this really could cost KCKCC a couple $1 million. And it's a multiplier effect. If enrollment drops 5–10% or so, then each following year we'll be working with a lower number in those starting classes. So it is extremely important. Chair Isnard and I are working on letters, and we've finalized those that we'll send to our federal representatives, our legislators up on the Capitol, explaining some of these items and asking that they not be cut. To assist with some of the funding, the $3 million that we also lost due to a federal change in direction is the $3 million for the automation engineering technology equipment down at the new downtown center. Been working with Dr. Baylog and Mary Spangler. We're going to do a very targeted $3 million campaign to try and recoup those federal funds through other funding avenues. Let's see. And also, as we're working really closely with Panasonic and other companies, just before this meeting was at a pre-grand opening event for Marvin Windows. They actually met with the first group that they met with when they proposed the project here in KCKCC. I think it was 3 years ago. So very impressive building. They're great people, family-oriented. It's 400,000 square feet in advanced technology. It changes sizes of windows, so all the material goes through is all the same material to make the custom home windows match up very well. So, they're going to be a great partner as well. And then to wrap it up, a quick downtown update. We are progressing very well. Last week, they started installing the first level of the steel superstructure to build the building. It's the first level of 5. So when this building starts to reach up into the sky, it's going to be just amazing. We'll have placing the last beam, a topping off ceremony. Yeah, we're working on scheduling a topping off ceremony. Chris Green is working with the team on that. It'll probably be the first or second week in September, but you'll get saved the dates as soon as we get a little closer to the event. And lastly, for everyone, faculty who may be not teaching during the summertime or staff that are traveling for the summer, just wish everyone safe travels, and we want to have you back here for when you get back from vacation or for fall 2025. And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Mosier. Any questions, comments from the board?
Move
We-
approval.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the Executive Vice President's report with Dr. Baylog. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman Isnard, trustees, members of the KCKCC community. Thank you for the opportunity to present this month's highlights from the Executive Vice President's office, focused on 3 core areas: institutional strategy, partnerships and community engagement, and operational execution. As it relates to institutional strategy, we continue implementing critical upgrades to improve our institutional efficiency and service delivery. This includes implementation of Ellucian Colleague SAS and Workboard. These tools will streamline our operations, enhance accountability, and better position KCKCC to meet students' and stakeholders' needs. I recently completed KC Rising's 12-week talent pipeline management training. Developed by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, this program provides a common framework to address workforce challenges in our region by aligning educational providers with employer needs. The insights we gain through the training will inform initiatives locally that connect students with in-demand careers while addressing regional workforce shortages. We're continuing a nationwide search for our Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Services. This role is critical to advancing our enrollment strategies and ensuring student success. Search activities include interviews and open forums to engage the campus community in this important decision. As it relates to partnerships and community engagement, collaboration remains the cornerstone of our strategy and our approach. And this month, we strengthened relationships locally, regionally, and nationally. We engaged institutions like Park University and the University of Kansas, as well as the Kauffman Foundation, to develop streamlined pathways for students from K-12 through bachelor's degrees and beyond. These partnerships ensure smoother transitions for students and expand access to resources. Our participation in events like the KCK Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors meeting and Business After Hours Social helps foster stronger relationships with local businesses. Additionally, the KCKCC Foundation Hall of Fame induction ceremony highlighted the achievements of alumni, community partners, and it really offers us the opportunity to express gratitude to our partners and donors and cultivate other gifts. Meetings with Senator Roger Marshall's office, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Kansas Municipal Utilities, they help us align our programs with regional workforce needs and government priorities. The President mentioned recently visiting Marvin Window's new production facility. Our team will visit their production facility, engage with their team shortly so that we can start aligning our programs with their needs. KCKCC also actively participated in regional economic development events, including Enterprise KC's Heartland Cup and KC Rising's Horizon 2025. These engagements enhance the college's visibility and influence in workforce and economic development activity in the region. Finally, we're engaging innovative education technology companies such as U.com, PackBack, and NAC to explore tools that promote operational efficiency, academic productivity, and improve the student experience. As it relates to operational execution, this past month, Cabinet met to finalize our priorities for the fiscal year 2026 budget during a dedicated Cabinet retreat. This process ensured that we are aligning our financial planning with the institutional goals, also your requests as a board, and our long-term sustainability. Thanks to those trustees who joined us last week for the annual employee recognition and retirement ceremony. It's important to take time to celebrate the contributions of our dedicated employees who support the success of our students every single day. Lastly, we're continuing to implement the 4 disciplines of execution across teams to create a performance-driven culture here at the college. This initiative is already enhancing accountability across the college and really, I think, engaging the community, bubbling up ideas from the front lines to identify ways where we can better engage and support our students and help them get to the finish line. And we're already starting to see dividends. We're seeing the yields, as the President mentioned, with commencement this week. A record number of students will be walking across the stage, and we will have record attendance supporting those graduates. I thank you for your time, and I welcome your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Baylog. Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the Vice President of Academic Affairs report with Mr. Pope. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So just to point out a few things that happened this last month. The Interdisciplinary Undergraduate Research Symposium was held here in Upper Jewel on April 23rd, and you can see a laundry list in the report of what the students reported on. And so I think that was just a very interesting event, and the students and the faculty that participated got a lot out of that. And it's something that's grown over the past few years. So that's always exciting to see those things. I'll also call your attention, I like to talk about how our students travel and get experience through that travel. And it's one of the things that the institution provides funds for, but we also get those funds through our Perkins allotment as well. Dr. Ian Corbett, the coordinator of the audio engineering program, took 15 students to the Central Region Audio Student Summit. And I thought it was kind of nice to include some comments from students. They found this very useful, and you can see that they worked with some people that had worked with Bruce Springsteen, as well as with the St. Louis Symphony and Jazz St. Louis, so some really interesting, well-known people and well-known practitioners of audio engineering. I won't talk about the music department because we heard from them, but as you know, they are doing really wonderful things in that department. For career and technical education, our high school welding students, I thought this was really interesting. They worked on creating custom trophies for a car show that was hosted at Legends Honda, which I thought that was really interesting. I used to have all of my trophies collected around my room, and I'm sure my mother has them somewhere. Welding technology students traveled to Chanute. They competed, and you can see some other things that they competed in this month. If you went to, I'm sorry, I have too many pages here. The KCKCC's culinary arts students prepared meals and desserts for the annual Hall of Fame Awards scholarship and ceremony. So if you were there and you got an opportunity to taste some of the food that are prepared by our students here, and I know it's always good. I was not in attendance this year, but I have been in many years, and it's always been really good. The mortuary science department, you know, you expect them to do well, and sometimes you like to say you could do just a little bit better, but they have a 100% pass rate on the national board exams right now. So congratulations to the mortuary science students, as well as our new coordinator in that program. So doing some great work there. You can see the National Council Licensure Examination NCLEX pass rates. This is updated, you know, as students take those tests and as we get information back, but 88.89% for our registered nursing and 100% for practical nursing. So again, congratulations. We do have a pinning ceremony tomorrow night. So if you're able to come to that, it'll be in the Performing Arts Center. And then Volunteer Income Tax Assistant Program. This is really a very interesting program. It's hosted by our Professor of Accounting, Chad Marmon, and we provide free tax services to the community. And you can kind of see a table there of the individuals that were served with us. And some students in the program can take credit, and so they can get credit for helping to prepare those income tax returns. 6 students in the cybersecurity program will attend a week-long trip in Washington, D.C., sponsored by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So an interesting opportunity for them. And then kind of a couple of last things. On April 12th, the adjunct coordinators hosted an event for our adjuncts, and I will say, I asked an adjunct faculty member to serve on a search committee for the Dean of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And one of the things that she commented to all of our candidates who asked about the engagement of our adjunct faculty, she talked about what a good job we do here engaging adjunct faculty. And so it's in part because of this adjunct coordinators that we negotiated into our collective bargaining agreement, but also as an institution, we understand the importance of our adjunct instructors and we support that. So I was very proud to hear that kind of spontaneous comment in those interview sessions. And Dr. Creamer and his group, the Math, Science, Business, and Technology Division, hosted an open house on April 22nd to see all of the great things that are going on in that division. So I will complete my report with that and entertain any questions that you may have.
Sounds like you're off the hook. Do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just say congratulations on a successful term.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm excited about graduation,
Yes.
and it's the weather I ordered. So.
It's going to be perfect. Yeah.
We have you to thank then. All
We
right.
appreciate you.
All right, next we have the Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management Report with Dr. Cordy. Good evening. Yes.
Thank you. Let me give Dr. Mosier mentioned about commencement. I can give you a little additional information on that. We should have record numbers. We had 535 graduates walk last year, and this year we could have possibly 700 graduates. We had, as of this afternoon, 7,140 tickets had been ordered online as well as in paper. The commencement speakers, Lieutenant General Milford Beagle. As a historian, I think it's rather fitting. He is the first African-American commander of Fort Leavenworth, and Fort Leavenworth was the site of one of the first Buffalo Soldier regiments, but they've never had an African-American commander until Lieutenant General Beagle took command last year, so I think it's rather special. Our athletic season, our baseball team ended the season with a 39-22 record, ranked fourth in the district competition. Excellent season. Our women's softball, they had a 43-17 win as well as district championship. Unfortunately, they heard that they did not win or receive a bid for the National Invitational. This year, athletics just had a phenomenal year. It's the first year in KCKCC history that we've had 3 teams that went to national competition. I know we've got our athletic director here, but this is the first year that we've had 3 teams that have ever gone to national competition in that year. So I think a great year for athletics. Just a couple other things. Our enrollment numbers for summer and fall look encouraging. I know there's also, as several of you mentioned, the issue of government cuts. My financial aid director and we were looking at the numbers, and we have TRIO staff that is obviously a government program that works with our students to assist them in the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal financial aid. And they assisted over 1,000 students this past year on completing the FAFSAs. And so if that program is eliminated, then that staff is no longer available to do that. So it's really going to be devastating. But we're hopeful that things will come about in a better way. But those are some of the highlights that I have. So if there's any other questions that you have about some of the things we reported.
Is fall enrollment trending?
Yes, it's encouraging. You know, we have some gaps in the trends, but it does look very encouraging. You know, we're not looking at 100, 200% increases, but for both summer and fall, it's very good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Great, thank you. We have a motion to accept the report, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you again. Next, we have the Vice President of Finance and Operations report with Dr. Schulte. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, everyone. In my report tonight, I want to highlight, start off with the business office, and in the true spirit of collaboration and shared governance. A week ago, we got together with the President's extended cabinet, and the extended cabinet includes the head of Staff Senate, faculty members as well. It had conversations and reviewed the budget process we're using based on our budget timeline that you all approved, as well as looking at our strategic asks, and shared that information. All of the vice presidents then stood up, shared what their requests were, information about each of those requests, how it tied to our strategic plan to help us assess and make some educated requests and recommendations up to the president as we look at comprehensively finalizing the 2026 budget in consideration of those asks. Inside of the area of human resources, preparations have begun to host the 3rd annual Growth and Learn Opportunity Workshop, or GLOW. It's scheduled for July 22nd. The request for presentations has been distributed and proposals are due May 23rd. Members of the KCKCC Benefits Committee come together, have conversations as we're considering budget for next fiscal year as well, looking at the benefits comprehensively at the institution, and with that participated in a tour of the Wyandotte County Spira Care facility in an effort to be able to expand knowledge of what opportunities we have available in relation to health care. I think that's one of the key pieces that the Benefit Committee is really focused on, is not just talking about the benefits we have, but helping everybody comprehensively understand what are those options, and then being able to be liaisons and representatives of various individuals to be able to teach and train and educate others on questions that they might have. Those questions can always come to human resources, but it's best when we can do it collectively together and be able to answer questions as a representative of that committee. Information services progress continues with the Lucian team in preparation for the upcoming move of colleague to SaaS in the cloud. We get updates, and we're at week 31 of 85. Again, I would say that's one piece, and I know it's comprehensive and there's 85 weeks in total, but it's another shining example of how the community and the college collectively have come together. The representatives on that team that are working hand in hand aren't just from information services. There's finance individuals involved, business office individuals involved. All areas of campus are coming together collectively to be able to move this forward, which based on the comprehensive nature of the investment that has been approved by all of you, it really does give me faith in the process of the project and the completion date that we have in front of us. Inside of facility services, sanding and an initial maple staining of the field house floor has been completed. If you do get an opportunity, they're still working on it, but if you want to peek in there, it looks beautiful. Excited about that being completed as we move forward. I know everyone is. And in preparation for another area that we're excited about, in preparation for on-site food service this fall semester, Facility Service Department completed a fire suppression system inspection on the deli on main campus. Jump back up into business office as well. President Mosier and I met this week and reviewed final pieces in relation to our food service RFP that went out, taking a look at what are our opportunities on bringing food service onto campus. So we're getting very close to being able to present something here for all of your review in the very near future. So we're right on the corner of that. So a lot of hard work has gone into that. And again, that was a comprehensive effort by a number of individuals on campus to bring that to fruition. In College Police, under the leadership of Chief Wiltz, all officer positions in KCKCC Police Department have been filled, providing coverage for all college locations, which is a mighty feat given the fact that we've had challenges in attracting and retaining officers, continue to make a push to make sure that we're providing opportunities for those individuals so that we can retain them as officers here on campus. And then my final note tonight, the Wellness Center, the 20th annual Blue Devil 5K was held on May 3rd. More details and photographs will be in next month's board book, but thank you to those here who attended. It was a great Saturday morning, beautiful on campus. I didn't win. I tried really hard, but I pushed as hard as I could. But it was a beautiful day. So again, thank you for those that attended, and great support on behalf of the Wellness Center as well and what they're doing there. With that, that concludes my report. I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Well, one is a comment and the other one is a question. This is a kudos to facilities. I noticed it's out front, the storm drain railing around that, and I think that is that's good to do that, because if you're not paying attention, you might just walk over it and trip. So kudos, I really like that.
I will share that with them. Thank you.
Okay, and then the other thing is HR. I'm just trying to understand this. It says there's another type of employee. Now it says additional position, and an additional position that is given to someone that is actively engaged at the college. So how does that work? Are you combining two positions, or just how does that work?
In relation to a position in HR, and Lorraine is here. I don't know, Lorraine, if you know.
It says additional additional position. There was one that was on the report that we approved tonight, and it says it was an additional position. So I say, it's one employee holding down two jobs. Is it a combined job?
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to keep from calling a person's name. So that's why I was just being generic. I was being generic because I just wanted to know.
It was
that-
Entrepreneurship Education Initiative Project Director.
Right, so,
That's a grant-funded position. It's a fairly short time frame, so they may have given it an additional description on that, but it is one person working in one position.
Short-term grant funded.
Yes.
It is. That's right.
but they were already an employee.
Yes.
So what happened to the job that they were already doing?
They left that job.
Okay, for a grant position that may end. So when the grant ends, will they go back to their regular job?
That's not for this conversation right here.
Okay, so the additional position, did they have to apply for it, or were they just moved over to it?
That's not for discussion right here. It's personnel. No.
It's not a discussion, it's just a question.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that.
Well, I'm sure you're not. You're allowed to do that, especially if it comes from me.
Think if
Yeah, I know, I'm going there because it shouldn't be like this.
we don't need to go there. I think we
It-
can ask questions
well-
through email if we'd like more detail, and then
Well,
we're
but
all
you-
keeping
but you
confidentiality of our staff
ignore
in
me
mind.
when I go through the email, and you know it, so we'll just end it there. It's unfortunate that we have to go this route, but I can't
Yes,
get
it is.
information personally, so I have to ask it here. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see if I get it in an email. Thank you.
Any additional questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the Vice President of Educational Innovation and Global Programming Report with Dr. Ryobi.
Ta-da!
Good evening.
Okay. Susan, we're live. I'll have my slides to show you. I really want to call out the fact that as we're thinking about educational innovation and global programming, and we're thinking about it as a dynamic puzzle piece with each department being extremely instrumental in pushing the agenda forward, aligning with the strategic priorities of the college. Taking that into consideration, I mentioned a little bit before in our recognition presentation around our impact over enrollment. And that is not only due to the commitment of the team, to innovation, to alignment with our goals, but also to strategy. As we see, we have 87 international students enrolled at the college. Our high school partnerships are continuing to grow and increase enrollment. We have 15 IMT graduates over this past month, and our online educations continue to support over 138 both student and staff tickets. So we are really pushing this agenda forward. As we're looking at our student success, we're going to have 35 GED graduates next week, and we're really excited about that because 5 of them are going to be transitioning to college, and 7 graduates are coming from the Lansing facility. And having had a recent tour of the facility and we're seeing what people have to do in order to persist with their degree, that level of commitment is really amazing. And so kudos to the team for making that opportunity available. Kudos to everyone for really focusing on the strategic priorities and partnerships that give people hope and opportunity in a time where they probably don't have any. So we're really excited about that. As we continue on and we're looking at employee engagement, quality programs and services. Our Kids on Campus program has gone through a great rebranding thanks to the help of our marketing team. So we have a new brochure, and most recently we've had a book drive where we secured over 500 book donations. I know I'm excited about that. We have a new Cisco networking program that's launched, and our new study abroad program is taking place this July. So we're really excited about that. We give ourselves a 5-star for quality programs and services. Looking at employee engagement, we have partnered across the college, and we've had co-hosted an adult experiential learning workshop with Kale, in partnership with the academic support and assessment team through academic affairs. When we had a lot of attendees really thinking about how do we align ourselves to ensure that we're doing a standardized approach to prior learning and giving people credit where credit is due for either workplace experience or life experience. Our adult and continuing education team has secured a 5-year funding for our AFLA grant, focusing on 3 educational categories. Thanks to President Mosier for sitting in on a workshop last week with us where we kind of went through the grant and the points and all the commitments that the college is looking forward to make good on within the next 5 years. As we're looking at community engagement, again, we are really focused on building our partnerships and our partnership pipeline, starting earlier and with different community stakeholders, whether that is our international community through our local Kansas Global Times team, through our Uncornered partnership that's focused on youth ambassadorship, and also with our Kauffman Foundation with our ProX internship summit. We also continue to launch our Women in STEM initiative, where we've partnered with 5 regional employers to talk about just the opportunities for women in STEM fields. So we're really excited about just the expansion of the work that we're doing in order to not only promote community engagement, but to promote exposure to our stakeholder groups and to our students around opportunities with programs, with job placements that perhaps they're not familiar with. As we continue on, thank you. As we continue on, I can't stress this enough. Yes, we have our main college commencement this Thursday, the 22nd, but we also have our GED commencement on the 29th. That's going to take place at the Tech Building. And I know a few of you have already RSVP'd to attend. If you do not RSVP yet, it is not too late. It's going to be the 29th from 7 p.m. till about 8:30. And we have 35 students graduating with their GED. Thank you very much. That is my report, if you have any questions.
I'm just glad to see that we have good weather forecast for the graduation on Thursday so that we don't have to have a second rain date and rain on the GED graduation, because that's our second rain date. You know, if it rained Thursday, then we would have it Friday. If it rained Friday, then we would have it on the 29th. And that's the same day as the GED graduation. So it looks like we're going to sail through this, so I'm excited about that.
Absolutely, and I do take credit for the fact that we're going to have good weather on Thursday, May 22nd, because that is officially my 2nd year anniversary here at KCKCC. So thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
I think Jerry already beat you to trying to take credit for the weather.
He does, but I got it. I stole the thunder. I took it back.
I'm gonna share it.
Only sunshine.
Dr. Riobi, I'll just, put you on the spot real quick, because I love your community engagement slide, and I would love to have you share in one of our upcoming community engagement committees. Yeah.
Call and I'll be there.
We'd love to see that. Love to have you share that.
All right, if there are no other questions, we have a motion to accept the report, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Vice President of Marketing and Institutional Image report with Ms. Green.
Mr. Chris.
Hey, how's everybody today?
Doing
Wonderful.
well.
Good. Thank you.
So we're going to start here with a Instagram story or a Facebook reel that we'll be boosting to share our story about why we're moving downtown, that we'll be boosting at the beginning of June. So if Randy would show that, you do have to read along.
nice. A visual can speak sometimes where just the words alone don't. That's nice.
Exactly. And I will say, as I did that, we did one more update, and you'll see it end with the downtown center. So as we look at this season, we're in full communication mode, and one of those primary communications is enrollment marketing. You will hear us on 93.3 and 103.3 through the summer, as well as digital advertising that we'll continue to do through the summer. As I presented in April at AACC, we did our annual, and my team did our annual breakdown of ROI, which was in our report this time. I want to hit a few highlights. We reached a 544% ROI, which is 5 to 1, which any corporate executive says is their corporate standard, a 5 to 1, so that we as a nonprofit late to the game are achieving. That's remarkable for us, as well as the fact that the previous year was about 1.3 million in estimated new and stop out revenue. For this year, about 1.1 million in estimated new and stop out revenue. Also, we received about 160% increase in new prospects and allowing them to engage in the Archer Education Portal. So the combination through digital advertising, our outreach in admissions and advising, and with our high school partnership team, as well as what we do with Archer Education and our online portals, are all paying dividends. And so I always want to share that message with the group to say that we are continuing to assess it and make sure that we're investing our dollars wisely and helping our students hear about KCKCC to enroll. In addition, we had 23 program videos to date. And I'm so excited. I saw a sneak preview of the website, and those videos now play in our header image on our program pages. So the very first thing students can do is click on that video and see it, as all statistics in the world today indicate that Gen Z is a video generation. And so having that option to hear the vital facts about the program from our students, alumni, and instructors right up front is going to be great.
1 minute.
Also, we are quickly working to complete our website by the end of June and are in full implementation mode. And lastly, I want to say thank you. I saw many trustees out at our Monarchs Night, as well as students, alumni, and faculty. It was a great night, bobbleheads included. And we had so much fun out there celebrating the start of the Monarch season and the end of our academic year. So thank you to everyone who participated and had a great time that night cheering on a winning Monarchs game. And if you have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer.
Well, I was waiting for Trustee Criswell to say something, because she was, a few years ago, you remember, was the very first one that was talking about enrollment marketing. And we do all of this marketing, but what's our return on investment in our enrollment? And now that this is in here, it's wonderful. So that's great to see that our marketing is paying off.
Thank you.
So that's all I'll say, Trustee Criswell, in case you want to elaborate more on there, because you were the one who first started bringing that to our attention, that we should see that information.
All right, thank you, Trustee Hoskins-Sutton, great point. Yeah, it's, times have changed in the last 7-8 years or so, because we used to ask the question, and it was, I think the answer we got was, well, we'll look into that, or we'll get back with you. And in the Dr. Mosier and faculty and staff era, if you will, things have changed. We now receive facts that we should have been receiving, before that era. But we're now receiving more factual information, and these indicators continue to reinforce the fact that we are getting things right at KCKCC. Whether we're talking about the marketing, the financing, or finances, the programming, et cetera. So Special thanks to Ms. Green, because I know that it's not easy, but you guys are getting it done, and thank you for bringing to light the statistics that are associated with your success in that area. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to the unfinished business portion of our agenda for this evening. So at this time, I will present a change to our officers for the board, a revision, actually to remove our Chief Information Officer, which is now a vacancy, and add Dr. Steve Nettles, Director of Institutional Effectiveness, to the position of Freedom of Information Officer for the college. And I believe that that is where all of our Kansas Open Records Act requests are going at this point anyway. So it just shores up the right contact for that. Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, I'd invite the presentation of college policies presented by Trustee Hoskins Sutton. Looks like we're looking at the space heaters and personal use of personal home appliances policies this evening, correct?
Yes, thank you, Chair. For your review is the space heaters, policy 4.20, and use of personal home appliances, policy 4.21. We had a lot of robust conversation on this, and thank you to faculty and staff for your comments. And Lorraine went back and did some reworks, and the College Senate saw it, and the faculty and staff were okay with this. And now it's up to you, the board, to take a look at this and tell us if you have any questions and if you want to approve these two as policy tonight.
Make a motion that we approve the policies as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just thank you to Dr. Mosier, Lorraine, and the committee, because it takes a lot of work, because when it's in writing like this, there are a lot of different opinions, and so to actually come together on these policies is wonderful. And remember, we don't meet during the summer because the faculty senate and the student senate or college senate do not meet. So we'll meet again, I believe it's September. So thank you, everyone involved.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, I would invite the presentation of the resolutions to non-renew contracts of employment presented by Dr. Mosier.
Yes, thank you. At this time, I would like to call for the, resolutions to non-renew contracts for the 3 faculty members that we have discussed with the intents to non-renew in the last 2 meetings that we've had. The names Pamela Hall, Deborah Likens, and Marissa Crean.
All right, any discussion, or do we have a motion? I will just say that I have received a couple of emails about this, and I do appreciate the community members who have come out this evening and spoke during the audience to patrons and petitioners, make their voices heard about this. I don't take any action that affects our staff, our faculty lightly, and I don't think that anyone on this board does. I think we have difficult decisions to make when it comes to a budget that constantly has downward pressure from the same community that showed up to speak about this issue tonight. We, again, don't take that position that we're in to have to make those decisions lightly. We're trying to do the best thing that we can for the students, the staff, the community at large. So with that, I will make a motion that we approve the resolutions as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion.
Oppose on Likens and Hall.
Motion carries. Next, I'd invite the presentation of the proposed Board of Trustees meeting schedule, 2025 and 2026, presented by Dr. Mosier.
Yes, thank you, Chair. In your packet, you have the trustee schedule for the academic year 25-26. There is an adjustment for the third Tuesday of October to allow trustees to attend the ACCT Leadership Congress so that it does not interfere with the Board of Trustees meeting schedule, which we have done previously as well.
Move approval of the schedule.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry, I have a note to announce the meeting schedule is for review, and the final approval will take place at the June meeting. So
Nope. My apologies.
did we not mean to approve it this meeting? Sorry, folks, technical difficulties.
Cheryl, one question, please. I can't recall, did we look at this, the schedule last month at the board level, or was that just internally?
Internally.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my error. So we're proposing it tonight, and we will vote on it in June.
Okay, I might need Mr. Goheen to help us how we walk this back if
I'll
we've
withdraw my
already
motion.
voted to approve it. If the board is willing to stick with what's already been approved, are we okay with that? Or does anyone feel like they need the extra month to look at that schedule? I think it was pretty straightforward, same date methodology as this time, so.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
I apologize for that. We got our wires crossed, obviously, on our agendas, so. Okay.
Go ahead and said good.
Okay. Mr. Goheen says we are good. All right. Sorry again. Thank you for everyone. That calendar as presented is passed then. That brings us to the presentation on a new program, the phlebotomy technician standalone parent program, which is 8 credit hours, presented by Mr. Pope, Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Thank you. You can see the program rationale that we submitted to KBOR, or we will submit to KBOR for this. This was actually a request from an Olathe High School because as it is, the classes were taught, but because it was a non-credit course, they were asked to go to Wichita to do their lab work. And so I reached out to my counterpart at Johnson County, and because it's outside our service area and there's a form and a process that we have to go to, Dr. Singh worked with his faculty. They did not want to transfer that from non-credit to credit, which of course is a non-credit program. Students are not eligible for the SB 155 tuition. And so we talked about it internally. We don't have to buy anything new because the students will do the didactic part at the high school, and they will drive here instead of Wichita to do the lab portion. And because we already have all of that equipment, we may have to buy a little bit, but we certainly don't have large costs for this. And so if it works, and we have some interest in it, we'll continue to grow this. But for now, this was the request, and we thought it was a good request. We got pre-approval from KBOR. Of course, they don't officially approve it until the board approves it. And if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer those.
I think you've answered all my questions in a nutshell, because I was thinking about the SB 155, and so it's not tiered then, because SB 155 means that it's a tiered class. So,
Right.
so it's not tiered. How will we get money from this class? I mean, what will they just be paying regular tuition?
Well, it is, I'm sorry, it is a tiered class.
It is a tiered class.
Yes, so if it's an SB 155 or Excel and CTE is the new words that they use.
Okay.
So the state will pay that tuition for those students.
Okay, but so they will enroll.
They'll enroll here at the college.
Enroll here at the college.
Yes, ma'am, and we will have the courses. We can't officially put them on the schedule until it's officially approved by KBOR, but we anticipate that approval because we've talked with them beforehand. And then, yes, the students will enroll at
And
our college.
one clarifying point, the Excel and CTE funding is a reimbursement program, so we will be reimbursed for that student enrollment after the end of the semester or academic year, whenever they submit payment to the institutions.
Okay.
So that's how we'll receive our money.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I was thinking, I knew you had done your homework, but I was thinking about what was KBOR's take on this, and they're already in the loop ahead of time, so you are anticipating a fairly quick approval. So
Yes,
does
ma'am.
this mean that it will start in the fall, or?
Yes, we anticipate it starting in the fall.
Wonderful. When you think about phlebotomy, you're gonna always need it, and so that's an excellent program. I'm glad that they reached out to us since Johnson
too.
County did it. This is, yeah, okay.
Thank
I
you.
think that answers all my questions I had on that.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, a much-needed program. Glad that we could fill that need, and I'll say the whole subject makes me a little squeamish, so I won't be volunteering to be a tester in any way, but glad that we could provide that service. So with that, if there's no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the new program as presented?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, our last item on our agenda this evening is, I would invite the presentation of the engagement of auditor to audit all accounts presented by Dr. Schulte.
Thank you, Chair Isnard. And as noted by Chair Criswell, Finance Committee had a discussion about engaging Novak Burks once again as our audit partner for the year that we're currently in, so going into FY25. The proposal that they provided to us had an increase of about $2,875. It's about a 5.5% increase compared to where it was this previous year. To give context, the year prior to that, their increase was 7.3%, so their percentage increase went down as we move forward. And with the foundation, their proposal went up about $865, bringing that in at $11,820. I do think that given our relationship with Novak Burks and the continuity of process for our audit going forward, this is the best recommendation to put forward in front of you all for approval tonight.
All right, thank you. And I can definitely speak to the relationship with an auditor and how important that is, that you have one that knows the way that your system functions so that they're able to easily find all of the things that they need to audit. So I am glad to hear that we are able to keep the same one for this year. So with that, I would call for a motion to approve the engagement auditor to audit all accounts as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our agenda this evening. Just a couple of closing comments. If board members, if you would please be on the lookout for a couple of emails here in the near future. I am looking to get one out tomorrow to address a few topics with the board. Also, we will be sending out soon some save the dates for a couple of options for our retreat in August. So if you would, once you get that, please let us know which of those two date options may work best for you. That will help us narrow that down and get something on the calendar. Believe that covers everything that I had. So at this time, I would call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.